Hey everybody, welcome back to Just Unsolicited. Jessica here. Um, Happy Monday, surprise. Figure we could start our week off with something great. So I was just like thinking, I was looking over my list of ideas because nothing really has inspired me to make a video on this. I was like, okay, let me resort to my notebook. And one of the topics that kind of stood out was stop comparing your race or your journey, to other people, which to me is kind of like just stop comparing your life to other folks, like what they got going on and what they're doing. I don't know if these birds are going to be as loud in this video as they are like right now, but they're like super flipping loud. Anyway, yeah, so we all have our own path that we're supposed to be on, right? Like our own journey, our own divine purpose, so to speak, whether or not you believe in that or not. Um, and then somehow throughout that, it gets clouded and diluted with other people's standards of what you should be doing, and society's like, you should be doing this at this age, and you should be doing this at this age, and why haven't you done this, and why haven't you done that? And they start to kind of put you in like their little box of their journey or their race or what they think you should be doing. And then it only gets emphasized, through like social media. And granted, we all are on social media for whatever reason: entertainment, staying in touch with family, advertising your YouTube channel, whatever it is. But in turn, like, you end up comparing your life or your looks or accomplishments and things like that to other folks, intentional or not. And then it will possibly cause you to make decisions or do things that you wouldn't have done, except you were like trying to keep up with somebody else or trying to do what they were doing, or show somebody like, oh look, I'm good, I did this, I've already reached this point in my life. And that's not even the journey that you're supposed to be on. So and if that's not your journey, the universe is going to knock you off that path one way or the other. And you're going to keep repeating like karmic patterns, basically. Like you're going to, until you learn the lesson, you're going to keep feeling that same pain. Does that make sense? So like toxic relationships, if you keep repeating the same type of relationship over and over, you have the same problems over and over, that's, you haven't learned the lesson somewhere along the line that you were supposed to learn. Or you keep having disagreements or whatever the case may be. Like, you can't keep a job, you always have a problem with your boss or a problem with authority, and it's like over and over. That's not everybody else, that's you. And obviously the universe or God or whatever you believe in is letting you know, like, hey hey buddy, you haven't learned this lesson. And they're going to keep putting you in that same position because you're not on your path, you're not on your journey. Because if you are on your path and your journey and you weren't being felt like you had to like fit into something else or keep up with somebody else or impress other folks or something like that, then you would learn those lessons like in a more organic, natural way, instead of it kind of being forced on you in such a painful kind of way. And I talked about it in a previous video, I don't remember which one it was, but I did that with my personally, not learning my lessons with relationships, and I would repeat the same patterns and go through the same problems, and some of it I ignored and some of it was me, and that was my karmic lesson, so to speak. But you kind of have to, like, instead of finding someone else to replace that, that void or that loneliness or whatever, I went and started healing and realized, like, okay, this is a pattern. Where, what is going on, blah, blah, blah. And had this, that healing that I've talked about in several videos. And it's still a process. Healing is going to take place for the rest of my life on many topics, as it will anybody who's on that journey. And so is growth. Those two things are going to come, but that's my journey. That's my, race, that life race or whatever. I'm not doing it for anyone else, and neither should you. You should be on your own path, at your own pace, and trying to learn those lessons as painless as possible. But like I was saying, like in the past, I would have completely, replaced, my heartbreak with someone else just to fill that void, just to, I feel wanted, somebody wants me, blah, blah, blah. And, you tell, because after a heartbreak, man, you feel like shit, bro. Like, God, like, you go through everything. And, we literally were talking about marriage in the middle of April, and he's moved on, playing house with someone else, taking care of her kid or someone, I don't know, and I'm working on healing. So, maybe he's healed, maybe he's good, but I know for me, I wasn't, and I had to figure out, okay, this is what I need to work on. This is my journey, stop repeating the same shit over and over. And so stop comparing your life to other people's lives. If they want to move on super quickly, or they want to go move here and live here, or they want to date this person, or they want, you don't have to keep up with them. You don't have to have this kind of car or these kind of clothes or look a certain type of way. Do what is for you, because at the end of the day, nobody else's opinion matters. It's between you and God, or whoever you believe in. For me, it's me and God. God knows the truth on every single thing. I don't have to prove anything to anyone. And I have I have that peace, and I'm still working on that peace, and I still slip up and catch myself out of character, and I don't, but the difference is I'm quicker to come back to being aligned. Like, okay, shit, I messed up. Let me come back to being, that wasn't right, instead of staying there and staying in, trying to prove a point and blah, blah, and be, that prideful, that ego, letting that go and humbling myself, like, yeah, I was wrong in this. That's, my bad. But it's my journey, and it's my race, and it's nobody else's, and you should be living your own journey in your own race and doing what you want with your life. There's no reason why, at 50 years old, if you want to go back to school or take some classes or learn a new thing or learn a new hobby. Like, I literally have never painted a day before in my life. I have a canvas in there. I'll show it on maybe the next video or something. And my first painting, I'm not quite finished because I just want to add to it. But man, that shit's badass. I'm like, wow, I really have been neglecting a talent of mine. So it's all part of that growth. So try something new, something you've never done before. Just broaden your horizons, but yeah, totally live your journey and your own rat race with yourself, not the world's and nobody else's. And don't compare your life to anyone else's. Let them do them, and you do you. And you'll have your happiness and your peace, and everything always works out the way it's supposed to, right? All right, so peace and love, y'all.